Hello students, hope you are all preparing well for the unit test 2. Now we will revise for our unit test 2. Overall, you will be writing your unit test 2 for 25 marks. This is your question paper pattern. Section A, Roman letter 1, reading comprehension. One passage they will given in the question paper. Below that you have 4 questions. First, you have to read the passage carefully, then understand the passage. Next, you have to read the questions and answer the questions from the given passage. In reading comprehension, you will get 4 questions. In that, each question carries 1 mark. So totally 4 marks for reading comprehension. Section B, Writing Skills and Grammar. Roman letter 2. Pick out the correct homophone. You have to pick out the correct homophone. They have given in a fill-up format. First, read the sentence and inside the bracket they will give you the 2 words which has the different meaning, different spelling but has similar sound. According to the given sentence, you have to choose any one of the correct word. In homophones, you will get 2 questions. Each question carries 1 mark. So totally 2 marks for homophones. Next one is frame 2 sentences for the homonyms. They will give you 2 homonyms. For each homonym, you have to write 2 sentences. In homonyms, you will get 2 questions. Each question carries 1 mark. So totally 2 marks for homonyms. Next, you have identify and correct the errors in the following sentences. In spotting errors, you will get 3 questions. Each question carries 1 mark. So totally 3 marks for spotting errors. Next, letter writing. In letter writing, they will ask 1 formal letter. For that, you will get 5 marks. Section C, Literature. Roman letter 3, synonyms. They will give you 2 synonyms. Each carries half mark. So overall 1 mark for synonyms. Roman letter 4, antonyms. They will give you 2 antonyms. Each carries half mark. So overall 1 mark for antonyms. Roman letter 5, answer the following briefly. Here they will give you 2 questions. Each question carries 2 marks. So totally 4 marks for answer the following briefly. What are all the questions given in your book bag? Thorough with that. Concentrate only in the short answers. Roman letter 6, identify the alliteration. Here they will give you 2 lines. In that you have to identify alliterated words. For alliteration you will get 1 mark. Roman letter 7, identify the rhyming words. Here they will give you 2 lines. In that you have to identify the rhyming words. For rhyming words you will get 2 marks. First, we are going to revise homophone. Homophone is made of 2 words, homo plus phone. Homo means same, phone means sound. Combining them, it becomes words having same sound. So what is mean by homophones? Words which have the same pronunciation but different spelling and different meanings. Now let's see some examples. Blue, blue. These 2 words sound alike but have different spellings and have different meanings. The word blue means color. The other word blue means flew off. Next we have weak, weak. The word weak means being unwell or without strength. The other word weak means word for the 7 days together. Next we have son, son. The word son means child of a parent. The other word sun means sun is the light body that lights up the earth. Sea, sea. Hair, hair. Now let's see some more examples for homophones with example sentences. First we have write, write. I like to write letters to my mom. Turn right on Elm Street. Next we have deer, deer. The deer jumped over a log. She is my dear friend. Next we have blue, blue. She blew the flower petals in the wind. Blue is my favorite color. Next we have night, night. I like to look at the moon at night. The night is very brave. Next we have plane, plane. It was a plain room. He went to Kashmir via plane. Next we have peace, peace. Chavi's mind was in complete peace. After meditation, he gave me a small piece of cheese. Then we have see, see. I can see you. I live by the sea. Next we have sail, sail. The house is for sale. The sail has to catch the wind. Next we have weather, weather. The weather is nice today. I don't know whether to stay or go. Next we have road, road. The car is on the road. She rode her horse. So these are all the words sound alike but have different spellings and have different meanings. So these words are called homophones. Next we are going to revise homonym. Homonym is made of two words, homo plus nym. Homo means same, nym means name. Combining them, it becomes words having same names. So what is meant by homonyms? Words which have the same spelling and same pronunciation but different meanings. Now let's see some examples. Sa, sa. Both these words have the same spelling and same pronunciation but they both have different meanings. The first saw means past tense of see, while the second saw means tool used by a carpenter to cut wood. Next we have left, left. The first left means direction to the left, while the second left means somebody has left the place. Next we have bark, bark. The first bark means bark of a tree, while the second bark means sound made by a dog. Next we have feet, feet. The first feet means two legs, while the second feet means measure used to calculate the length of something. Next we have pen, pen. Palm, palm. Then we have spring, spring. Next we have bat, bat. Then we have sink, sink. Next we have saw, saw. Now let's see some more examples for homonyms with example sentences. First we have bank. Bank is closed due to lockdown. I lived along the banks of the river. Then we have sink. The sink is in the kitchen. Coins sink in the water. Next we have ship. They travel by ship. We ship books out to New York every month. Then we have tie. Hope so. The game will tie among them. He always wears a shirt and tie. Next we have ring. He gifted me a ring. Please sit on the floor in a ring. Next we have spring. Flowers blow in spring weather. Springs are often made of coiled. Next we have saw. Handsaw is used for cut the wood. I saw her yesterday in market. Next we have palm. Coconut grow in palm trees. I did not hold up a palm for silence. Next we have park. I walk around the park daily. Do not park your car here. Next we have ruler. Do you have ruler? The Akbar was the great ruler. Next we have trip. We will go to trip to the seaside. The circuit will trip if it has been overloaded. Next we have wave. The wave of ocean make me fear. She waves her hand. Then we have watch. I watch TV in evening. He gifted me very expensive wrist watch. Next we have well. Well done, you did good job. The well water always cold. Next we have band. The band of musician is lazy. He wears a small band on his head. Next we have books. She has a lot of books. I will book a table at the Swan. Next we have bat. The bat king of caves. He has bat for playing cricket. Then we have can. I can help you. The can of Pepsi is empty. So these are all the words have the same spelling and same pronunciation, but they have different meanings. So these words are called homonyms. Next we are going to learn about what is error spotting. Error spotting is part of verbal ability section in which grammatically incorrect sentences are spotted or corrected. So error spotting is part of verbal ability section in which grammatically incorrect, which means grammatically wrong sentences are spotted or corrected. It can be noun, pronoun, singular, plural, adjective, article, anything. Next, we are going to see rules for spotting errors. First, let's see subject-verb agreement. So the rule is two or more singular subjects connected by and usually take a verb in the plural. For example, Hari and Ram is here. It is incorrect sentence. Whereas Hari and Ram are here. It is correct sentence. Why? Because the rule is two or more singular subjects connected by and usually take a verb in the plural. So in this sentence, Hari and Ram are two singular subjects connected by and. So usually we have to put a verb in the plural form. So, what is the plural verb here? Yes, or is the plural verb here. So, Hari and Ram are here. It is the correct sentence. Now, look at the first sentence. He have two sisters. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is he has two sisters. The rule is that if the subject is I, you, we, they, or any other plural noun, then we use the verb in its present tense form and we don't add s to the verb. But if the subject is he, she, it, or any singular noun, then we add s to the verb. Here, he has two sisters is the correct sentence. Let's see next rule. If two singular nouns refer to the same person or thing, the verb must be singular. Let me read it again. If two singular nouns refer to the same person or thing, the verb must be singular. First, look at the sentence. The secretary and principal are coming. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is the secretary and principal is coming. Why? Because here the same person is secretary as well as principal. Here the secretary and principal are two singular nouns refer to the same person. So we use the verb must be singular, that is. So the correct sentence is the secretary and principal is coming. Then move on to the next rule. If the singular subjects are preceded by each or every, the verb is usually singular. Now look at the first sentence. Every boy and girl were ready. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is every boy and girl was ready. Why? Because the rule is if the singular subjects are preceded, here preceded means come before by each or every, the verb is usually singular. Here boy and girl are two singular subjects are come before by every, so we have to add the singular verb was to it. So the correct sentence is every boy and girl was ready. Let's see next rule. Two or more singular subjects connected by are nor either or neither nor take a verb in the singular. First, look at the sentence. Neither he nor I were there. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is neither he nor I was there. Here, he and I are two singular subjects connected by neither nor. So, we have to add a singular verb was to it. So, the correct sentence is neither he nor I was there. Next rule is that when the subjects joined by are nor are of different numbers, the verb must be plural and the plural subject must be placed next to the verb. Now look at the example. Neither the assistant masters nor the headmaster was present. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is neither the headmaster nor the assistant masters were present. Why? Because in the second sentence, the master and the assistant masters are two subjects joined by nor. So, the verb must be plural and the plural subject must be placed next to the verb. So the correct sentence is neither the headmaster nor the assistant masters were present. Now let's see the rule. Some nouns always use a singular verb. Example, advice, scenery, stationery, mathematics, news. The first sentence is that mathematics are a difficult subject. Is that correct? No. The correct sentence is mathematics is a difficult subject. Some nouns end in s, but they are always singular. For example, news, physics, politics, mathematics, etc. Let's see the next rule. Certain nouns, being a singular form, represent plurality and therefore take a plural verb in a sentence. Let me read it again. Certain nouns, being a singular form, represent plurality and therefore take a plural verb in a sentence. Example, police, clergy, people, cattle. Let's see the first sentence. People has left. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is people have left. Some nouns have a singular form but they are used in plural sense like police, cattle, clergy, people, etc. Next, we are going to see wrong usage of verbs. The rule is when there are two subjects in a sentence and there are not in the same number, then we must have to use separate auxiliaries like is, are, am, was, were, have, as for both of them. Let me read it again. When there are two subjects in a sentence and they are not in the same number, then we must have to use separate auxiliaries is, are, am, was, were, have, as for both of them. Let's see the first sentence. 3 killed and 1 were injured. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is 3 were killed and 1 was injured. Why? Because 3 and 1 are two subjects in a sentence and they are not in the same number. So, we must have to use separate auxiliaries for both of them like 3 were killed and 1 was injured. Next, we are going to see wrong usage of adjectives. Adjectives of quantity show how much of a thing is meant. Adjectives of quantity, some, much, little, enough, all, no, any, great, of, sufficient, whole, are used for uncountable nouns only. Here, rice is the uncountable noun, right? So we use adjective some to it. Next rule is that when the pronoun one is used, it should be maintained throughout the whole sentence. Let's see the first sentence. One must help his siblings. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is one must help one's siblings. Next rule is that for living people, whose is generally used, and for things that are non-living, which is used. Let's see the first sentence. Which phone is kept on charging? Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is whose phone is kept on charging? Certain nouns take the plural verb because of their plural form. Example: cloths, scissors, trousers, amends, spectacles, thanks. Let's see the first sentence. The spectacles is missing. Is that correct sentence? No. The correct sentence is the spectacles are missing. Some nouns are always used in plural. For example, trousers, scissors, savings, innings, spectacles, quarters, etc. Now, let's see what is letter writing. Letter writing is an important channel of communication between two people who are geographically distant from one another. Here, channel means medium. So, letter writing is an important medium of communication between two people who are geographically distant from one another. In the earlier times, when the telephone and email were not available, right? So, the only means of communication between people was through letters. Letter writing is a skill that has to be developed. In general, there are two types of letters. The first one is formal letters and the second one is informal letters. Formal letters are written to convey official business information, and informal letters, which are personal letters to communicate with friends and family. A letter is usually one in a series of exchanges between two people. Let's see definition of formal letter and informal letter. A formal letter is a letter written to a business, a college, or any professional that are not considered friends or family. An informal letter is a letter you would write to a friend or family. Next, we are going to learn letter writing format of formal letter. First one is sender's address, next date, then receiver's address, then subject, salutation, body of the letter, then complimentary closure, finally signature line, sender's name, signature and designation. The first one is sender's address, one of the most essential components. Here essential means important, so sender's address is one of the most important components, also known as the written address. It is the mailing address of the sender. The address and contact details of the person sending the letter are written here. Next, date. Immediately after the sender's address comes the date on which the letter is written. Candidates, while writing the letter in the exam, can follow any of the formats to write the dates. First one is DD/MM/YY. Here DD refers date, MM refers month, YY refers year, or MM/DD/YY. The third one is receiver's address. The corresponding address, that is the address of the recipient. Here recipient means receiver of the mail is written here. Candidates must start with the receiver's designation, followed by the name of the organization, and then the full address, PIN code, and country if the information is known. The fourth one is the subject. This highlights the aim of writing the letter. The subject of the formal letter should be very brief. Here, brief means short, 6 to 8 words, and must be preceded by the word subject. The receiver, through the subject, understands the purpose of the letter at a glance. The fifth one is salutation. This is a customary greeting to the recipient. Here, recipient means receiver of the letter. If the name of the recipient is known, the salutation starts with dear, followed by Mr. or Mrs. or Miss, etc. If the person is unknown or even the gender is not known, the recipient can be addressed as dear sir or dear madam. The sixth one is body, which means body of the letter. The most important element of any letter. It furnishes the reason behind writing the letter. For formal letters, candidates should use short, clear, logical paragraphs to state the subject matter. The body of the letter is generally divided into 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is that introduction that states the main point. The second paragraph is that middle part, which means supporting points and details to justify the need and importance of letter writing. Third paragraph is that conclusion, request for some action or what is expected. The seventh one is complimentary closure. This is to end the letter with respect in a polite manner, such as yours faithfully, yours sincerely, etc. The eighth one is signature line. This is the last part where the sender of the letter signs off with his first or last name. The signature line may also include a second line for the title or designation of the sender. Now we are going to see example of formal letter. You wish to visit a cement factory with your classmates. Write a letter to the manager of the factory requesting his permission. This is an example of formal letter. From address S. Veera, Alpha Matriculation Higher Secondary School, Puducherry. To address the manager, Ramco Cement Factory Private Limited, Virudhunagar. Respected sir, subject, permission to visit cement factory, rig. Here rig refers to regarding. A group of 50 students and 7 teachers of our school has planned to visit your factory on 2nd November 2020. We are eager to know the process of manufacturing cement. Kindly permit us to visit the factory either on 2/11/2020 or any other convenient date for you. Expecting your favorable reply. Yours faithfully, S. Veera. Address on the envelope. To address the manager, Ramco Cement Factory Private Limited, Virudhunagar. Now look at the format of letters. Formal letter as well as informal letter. Formal letter, we have from address, to address, salutation, subject, introduction, body of the letter, conclusion, subscription, place, date, address on the envelope. In that we have to write to address, informal letter, from address, date, salutation, introduction, body of the letter, conclusion, subscription, address on the envelope. In that you have to write to address. Now let's see what is a figure of speech. A word or phrase used in a non-literal sense so that the speech or writing becomes more persuasive, vivid and relatable. Here persuasive means believable, vivid means bright, relatable means related or important. So, what is a figure of speech? A word or phrase used in a non-literal sense so that the speech or writing becomes more believable, bright and relatable, which means related or important. Alliteration. First, we have to know what is meant by alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sounds of neighboring words. In other words, alliteration is the repetition of beginning consonant sounds. Let's identify the alliteration in the poem Special Hero. Here we have one line. There is something special about a father's love. There is an alliteration in the line. The sound S is same in these two words like something special. Rhyming words in the last line, that you are my special hero and I wanted to tell you so. Rhyming words are hero, so. Students, prepare well for your exams. So now we have reached the end of this session. Thank you.